intellectual capacity, but that intellectual capacity does not result into an experience. What it means? Your intellectual understanding is zero. It does not make any difference, change. Pay attention. Intellectual understanding is one thing, but that reasoning, that clarity after the reasoning, if it does not translate into a self-knowledge, self-experience, it is useless. It is wasted. So why it is not happening? Are we doing a practice regularly without fail, with commitment, sincerity, and we are doing the practice whenever we are surrounded by the negativity or anxiety or any kind of a fear? Do we check every day how many events that took place or incidents took place during the day of anxiety, fear, and unwanted challenges in our life? And did my mind remind me, let me do the practice, and after that I will rationally analyze that event? And you have the great result instantly. That is the way this journey of the Eastern wisdom works. If we miss anyone, knowledge must result into realization. Knowledge means understanding, intellectual ability to put questions, receive the answers, have a clarity, and if it is not realized as an experience, as a conscious experience, the mind will dictate over the intellect and you will forget it. So now just look at the breath. You are aware of the breath. The breath is going in and out. Another step today only, this third step only. So you are watching the breath is going and coming. Breath is going and coming. There is no change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. And if you extend that period of observation of the breath without any attachment, without any change, maybe say for example, for 5 minutes today, every week you increase the duration and you will see a tremendous change. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Bring your hands down and experience. So we are going to understand the pleasure, happiness, and the delusion today. Last week we discussed about the mind as a receiving station, responding station, but between the receiving and the receiving, the mind gives an interpretation. And before it gives, that interpretation depends on many factors. Our evolutionary adaptation, our false assumption, our habits, our ideas. If the mind is constantly looking the world as a means of the pleasure, so the mind will attach the meaning of that pleasure, and accordingly it will respond to a situation. And that is what makes me attached or detached, like or dislikes, and ultimately it results into a insecurity, dissatisfaction, and unhappiness, because I'm grabbing. I want a gratification. but there is no gratification from the world. It is momentary. It may last for a few minutes, it may last for half an hour, it may last maximum for an hour, or as long as you are in contact with that object or a person. None of us, sometime I get a pleasure without any contact with a person, so it is an imagined pleasure. So that imagination will lead to self hallucination. And ultimately, if the hallucination continues, then you have a split personality. One personality is continuously enjoying in imagination, and other is working in daily life. It will cause a lot of challenges in your life. So that brings us to a question: is the desire fulfillment we are seeking, or we are seeking self-fulfillment? So here we reason out. Fulfillment of changing desires provide only short-term happiness. No doubt, it brings unhappiness. You're eating pasta you like, so you enjoy it. As long as you are eating. And once you finished eating the pasta and the taste of that pasta from the tongue has gone, it is a short-term happiness. Sex, drink, buying something. So I am searching for the lasting happiness. The one thing is very clear: I have to analyze every day. That causes a lot of anxiety, because the mind, with a false assumption and the delusion, says, tomorrow I will go there and I will do this thing and I will enjoy. Instantly I become aware, oh, I come in contact with something, some object, some person, and that is what the mind has now created in imagination, a false assumption of the happiness. Go there, but maintain your awareness. So you recognize, oh, there is not a lasting fulfillment of the desire brings lasting happiness. So what is the understanding point here? Fulfilling temporary desire does not provide permanent happiness. Desire fulfillment. So you have to analyze and categorize the list into your head. Become aware of those thoughts, those events, those incidents, those people in relationship. You just become aware what kind of a desire and the craving I am fulfilling in relationship to the external world. And you recognize they are often material, sensory pleasures. Sensory pleasures. You are not the senses. It can provide you the momentary happiness, but may not lead you to long-term happiness. Tell me anything, any event, any person, any relationship in the world. We need not to go to our relations and say that, I'm not related to you, I don't find a long-lasting happiness. That's not your problem. I have to awaken within me. I have not to tell anyone. The second problem is that this pleasure, short-term pleasure, is dependent. It always depends on something outside. And what depends on anything outside, it cannot give you the lasting happiness. Anything you depend on. Dependence is a delusion. It is a false assumption. I forget that I'm dependent on someone, and it gives me and I forget it, then I enter into the delusion, then I say, oh my goodness, she has left or he has left. What should I do? Go to the 50th floor and jump from there. What else? That is delusion. You are in a delusion. What else can I say? Now, with a disclaimer, you should not jump in. So, we depend on the external circumstances for my sensory pleasure, momentary pleasure. So, here the masters have analyzed that let us question, is there a lasting happiness? Is there a permanent happiness? So, when I'm in permanent peace and happiness, there is no fear, there is no insecurity, there is no dissatisfaction. So, how to do that? Yes. So, our master explains that when you desire for self fulfillment, your mind and intellect now works how to realize your potential, how to develop your talents and the skills to live meaningfully in the world, in any situation, not dependent on anything. So you evolve. Evolve means you rise in awareness. When you rise in awareness, you have a purification of the mind. Mind is very much clear. Delusion is not there. The craving for the pleasure is not there. So self-fulfillment is known as the self-knowledge. Self-knowledge is known as awakening. Self-awakening is known as nirvana. Put it that way. Nirvana or moksha, there are many words. So what happens? You lead a deeper and more lasting happiness in the sense of purpose all the time. All the time. From where it comes? It doesn't come from outside, it comes from within. From living authentically. Now you're living authentically. Why you are living authentically? So when you live authentically, you have a conviction, you have a clarity in your intellect, and you experience that authenticity in you. That is what the self-fulfillment. You can say self-fulfillment is awakening or realization, whatever you want to say. So now ask the question, is self-fulfillment is worthwhile? Answer is big yes. The moment you get a self-fulfillment, even when you don't know, in deep sleep you have transcended the body and the mind. After the deep sleep you wake up, you find it is more authentic. So can I make that a conscious process? That is what the Eastern wisdom is. I don't need any validation from outside. I need a conscious state of that realization within me. What happens then? It develops, it changes your behavior and attitude instantly. You know what needs to be spoken and acted upon. It develops a character and brings a sense of achievement. It creates a meaning that endures in spite of changing circumstances. Now what happens? Changing circumstances outside, people in the relationship, they will come and go. But they don't influence your mind. They don't cause any fear, insecurity, and dissatisfaction. That is what the awakening is. Awakening is not something that you are awakened and you have a big aura around your head. That you can already create a big aura. We already have many software applications around your picture. We don't need that. But inner aura is there. It leads to a contentment, and there is a total self-acceptance in your life. And when you have a total self-acceptance, there is no fear, there is no insecurity, there is no duality. So, in order to start with the desire for the self-fulfillment, I need to desire consciously. What causes me the stress, fear, anxiety? It's a backdoor entry into the mind. I don't put an agenda to go into stress tomorrow at 10 a.m. No and never. We'll not do it. They enter into my life from the back door. Peace and happiness cannot come from the back door. I have to consciously desire. How many times? Every day? How many hours? You have a sense of desire of self-fulfillment in your life every day when you are living. You're living your personal life. You have that sense, oh no, I need that desire. You should have that intensity of the desire. Last week you were telling me that I'm not progressing as fast. That is the reason. Because there is no lack, there is no commitment, one thing, and then the mind says, no, let me, pleasure fulfillment is more important than the self-fulfillment. That is, so we should also be clear that the desire should not mislead us. We don't become aware. When there is a desire fulfillment, there is a sense of a craving, we go after it, and after that we remember, oh, that beard guy told me self-fulfillment, I forgot it. Oh, no worries. And you are driving, you have another desire. You reach your home, your mind says, no, I have to take care of the pet before I think of the meditating. So your mind does not consciously desire the self-fulfillment. So internally, I have that lack of commitment during the day. So how can we expect that we will progress very fast? So it should come. That is why I picked up the topic, because you discussed last time. So what we should do in life? Do you live your personal life, professional life, social life, whatever? We don't question what you are doing. We question only how you are doing. So you're living your personal life, so desire. You consciously think, I'm doing this activity, this work in my personal and professional life for the sake of self-fulfillment. It's a movement from inside to outside. It's not a movement from outside to inside. When there is a movement from outside to inside, then what? Then your mind will say, what will happen? The market is crashing. How can I sell my houses? Allow me to enter into that houses and give a program to 5,000 people. So that is, then what happens? The moment your mind is outside, it has one desire outside, it will create 1 billion desires. And your mind is gone. Why? Why? I want to go to a particular restaurant to eat pasta. Simple desire. So that particular thought gets millions of associations and projections. It has a deficiency. It has an element of biological drive. You know, I'm hungry, that's why I'm going there. It creates a habit pattern. It creates a memory. So one desire outside minimum creates 1,000 additional supplementary desires. And I don't become aware. And those desire triggers during the day, and then I see I'm in fear, I have a lot of fear. What should I do? I have a lot of satisfaction. I have to maintain that awareness. I live into that awareness all the time. Again, I'm stressing. Our masters are not saying what you are doing. Our masters are saying, Do whatever you are doing in your personal, professional, and social life based on what is right and good, based on certain values. You are not unethical, you are not immoral. That is minimum requirement. But we are guiding how you have to do, with what attitude you have to do. So even if you are going to eat pasta, go there. I'm going to that restaurant to eat the pasta for self-fulfillment. So you give a mind to a break. You give your mind a break. What kind of a break? You are not seeking the desired fulfillment. You are seeking a self-fulfillment. Just you say it. At least what it means, you remember that you are seeking self-fulfillment. You don't need desired fulfillment. So what will happen? The idea of the habit will dissolve. Otherwise, otherwise, I told you one desire gave rise to 1,000 desires every day. So you have, say, 10 desires today that popped up in your mind. So you have 10,000 desires. That is the reason the mind is wandering. Otherwise, why the mind should wander? There's no reason. Why should mind should wander? So I don't know the reason, or I know the reason, I falsely hide that reason. Oh, what a big deal. If I'm going for a pleasure, to go there. You have already created 1,000 desires of which you are not aware, and that will pop up in your mind. Maybe tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and that impure, that makes your mind impure. No, 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 no.
Is it what's the desire? But what is the fear then? I mean, you have things that want to make us happy, but why do people always have the negative thoughts, the fear, and those are those desires too?
Yeah, I have one desire that results into suffering, ignorance, and delusion because the mind or intellect 100% knows that desire fulfillment outside has 1 million factors to be fulfilled. And for any desire to be fulfilled, there are many unknown factors. You want to go to a restaurant, your mind in the background knows if there is too much of traffic, I cannot reach. If there is going to be a shooting, I cannot go. If there is a traffic jam, if I go to the restaurant and restaurant says we are just closing, those thoughts are already present in my subconscious head. They don't pop up because I have projected I'm going to that restaurant for a pleasure. So I told you that is the reason. So why this happens? Because for every desire outside, we have a confirmation biases. We have a sense of attachment. We have a sense of feeling of internally, we have a sense of feeling of impermanence. We have a sense of self-centeredness. We have a sense of little bit restlessness. That level of ignorance is constantly working. But when you are looking for self-fulfillment, desire for self-fulfillment, you need not to worry about. Only a few factors I have listed. Any desired fulfillment. You don't know, you want to grab a glass of water from the kitchen and you are taking only 15 steps, you may fall. And it happens. It happens. The tumbler falls from our hand. We don't do it intentionally. So that mind is fully aware internally that outer event, situation, conditions are uncertain. They are constantly changing. So we overlook that. Why we overlook? Oh, it's our confirmation biases. We have projections. We have imaginations. We don't live consciously. And we don't want to live consciously. That is the meaning of a comfort zone. That is the meaning of the comfort zone. So what happens? We lose Shreyas. Do you remember? And we fall to Prayas. Where is Shreyas? What is right and good? Where is Prayas? What I like and what is pleasant to me. So what I like, what I like. So I have to analyze every day, at least I have to contemplate every day what I like today, what I dislike today. For example, the same example of yesterday, you rescheduled the session and you said, I'm taking care of this maid's car. Okay. Now, was it the intention inside your head belongs to the prayers or belongs to the shreyas? If it belongs to the prayers, outward you are doing a good thing, it will create a lot of impressions. And if the intention is the shreyas, no impression will be accumulated. How simple is that? There was a guy in India who found a lost wallet of someone. It contains lots of money and also some ring. He went to the police station. It is the movement in the shreyas. Pay attention. And he returned home. He gave it to and ultimately the cops found out whose wallet it is. The next day, the reporter came into the police station. They recorded a video and telecasted on the news. And this guy was listening to the news on the television, and he got upset. Why he got upset? Look at these cops, at least they should have mentioned my name and who found this wallet. They did not mention it. What is this? This is the movement of the prayers. Look closely. This is the movement of the prayers. So even he started with the Shreyas movement. What is right and good? I have to do it. What is right and good without any expectation. But in the end, it turned out to be a prayers. What I like, what is pleasant to me. So what happened? I entered from a self-fulfillment in the beginning at the first step and converted that into a desire fulfillment. Now see, what the cops did, they did the right thing. What the television news was there, that was also whatever the news was there, so they broadcasted the news. But I was attached to something with that news, not with the cops. So it hurt my feeling. It took me into anxiety and reaction. And now suppose, hypothetically, normally it happens. He goes to the police station and he says, why didn't you mention my name? And the cop catches his neck and says, get out. Now he has a fear, he has a humiliation, he has a regret. And now he says, I have been so kind. I have been kind. I did my kind act, which resulted into frustration. It has nothing to do with the TV news. It has nothing to do with the recording of the videos with the cops. It has nothing to do with it. But I was attached to so many things. Do you see the attachment? And it results into delusion. I need not worry about it. What I've done, done. Finished. But I don't think that way. Why I don't think that way? Because the attachment is there. This is, you see that attachment lives in the mind. And that attachment creates a desire. So I have to turn that desire for self-fulfillment instead of a desire fulfillment. So the moment I turn that desire into a desire fulfillment, there has to be an element of insecurity, frustration, dissatisfaction. Take the same example. See the other scenario. Now he hears the news. What a great guy whose name is Nick Gonsalves, and he found the wallet. It was a lot of money with a golden ring, and he returned. He has been honest. So what happens to my mind? My mind now feels elated. It increases the sense of ego. My ego is there. Okay, no problem. Because I'm listening the news only. So my ego has increased. Now I need, and that, what it results? It results into a greed. What is greed? Repeat desire. Because I got appreciation, I got a recognition. So now you go to your office, one employee. I gave you a real life scenario. One employee you have helped for years together. He doesn't care you. Your mind triggers, where is the appreciation? Where is the appreciation? And another employee whom you have never appreciated, he does his work, but whenever he finds the time, he appreciates you. So your mind, because of the desire fulfillment, compares the two employees, and then it starts living in its own intellectual fantasy. I'm just explaining why we have thousands of desires. Only one desire causes thousands of desires. And you simply become aware of, done, finished. I have done this work. That is all. Finished. What happens then? Mind is clear. Mind is pure. That is the path of the Shiv. How to achieve that so that we should not lack awareness during the day, during living our thinking, speaking, and acting. We need an extraordinary awareness. How that can be achieved? When you listen and learn and contemplate and reflect every day, followed by the practice. You practice every day. You don't leave the practice. No, I have an urgency to go to the airport to pick up someone at 6 in the morning. And every day I wake up and I do the practice at 6. So my mind says, oh, let us postpone it. Once I return from the airport, then I will do the practice. It will never happen. Unless you are mindful, you say at 6 I have to drive the car, I will do the practice at 5. I have to do it. We easily miss, we like to postpone our contemplation and reflection, our listening and learning and practice for the sake of urgency, emergency, for the sake of different situations outside. It will not work. It will not work. Because my priority is desire fulfillment. My priority is not self-fulfillment. Now I feel sleepy. Mind says, okay, you feel sleepy, but your mind reminds you, you have to do the practice before sleep. And the mind that is seeking the prayers, which says, Today I feel tired. Many people say me, no, I was so tired. Come on, you are tired. That is why you should do the practice to feel relaxed. And we forget it. So that is there. These are the many reasons we our progress is slow. Our progress is slow. Lack of commitment, lack of sincerity, commitment, whatever you want to say, in a different way. Why it happens? I just told you. My mind attaches the meaning, attaches with lot of intrinsic factors. They are living inside my mind. There may be as I get association with some other thought, I project it. I have projections are there. I told you in case of uh, the restaurant. I don't see that outer desire fulfillment has an element of temporary event. It is not permanent. I don't see the impermanence in that. Why? Because I'm already deluded. I am influenced and dictated. Some force in my mind has is dominating over me. No, grab this, attach this. Why don't you understand? I have to, I have to pick up my friend at the airport at 6, and I have made it a point that I will practice meditation at 6, but today I cannot do it. It's an intellectual fantasy. I should have done it at 5 instead of 6. I never miss a flight. I always miss the practice. Come on. Do you see that? That is the so when we become a committed seeker, do whatever happens in the world. I think possibly I have never missed a practice for the last almost 15 years. I don't remember. Never missed a practice. Whether I had a fever, whether I sleep around midnight, no way. No way at all. Body has certain discomfort. Body has certain changes. Obviously, you also feel those. But I said no. I will wake up at the same time. I will do all the practices. Then the mind, that mind creates a person in you. Nick number 1 or Stephen number 1, for example. And the Stephen number 2 is the intellect, which has a clarity and a conviction. And the Stephen number 1 is already, it has accumulated millions of desires. It knows how to postpone, how to lack the judgment, how to remain deluded. It enjoys the delusion. So that Stephen number 1 is constantly pushing you. Okay, we will do it. What a big deal. If I don't do it today, I will do it tomorrow. Finished. Tomorrow never comes. Tomorrow never comes. Another idea in the mind is about restlessness. So all these factors which I have told you, it is working deep inside the mind: confirmation biases, attachment, impermanence, self-centeredness, restlessness, not restfulness. They all creates what we know the ignorance. And because of the ignorance, we compulsively pursue the desires outside. When we compulsively follow the desires outside, it obscures my awareness, what is known as the lack of awareness. and that prevents my mind to realize and recognize. So I can say I have intellectually understood, I have a clarity and conviction, but that conviction has not been realized by the mind. I told you, knowledge plus experience both are required. We always say, if the knowledge through the intellect, through the reasoning you have reached, if it does not translate into a conscious experience, it will not work. I should have that conscious experience all the time. Am I answering your question?
Yeah, I need to do more work.
I answered your question. If you have any doubt, you can ask me.